kind of just set up in the first, just a couple of principles. And what we really want to get to, and I don't want to jump into it here. This is too important for kind of clever, facile, tinsel, great sentences. It's all worked out. We laugh and we go home. So I want to kind of go much slower, thank you, right? Much slower than we do usually in the dialogues. Just kind of set it up step by step, because it's a big deal. I got to tell you something, it's a big fucking deal. Okay? 20 million people die every year, okay, of hunger and hunger-related diseases. As we talk now, this second, in our kind of Denver, enlightened, experience, right? As we talk this second, the amount of suffering going on in the world this second, right now, right? So if we really are egocentric, so we kind of hang out, laugh about it, talk about it, go home. But if we're not, we actually kind of let in that pain, right? We actually expand. That's what it means to be Elijah the prophet or a bodhisattva, right? I kind of open myself up and actually let that in. Okay, so when I let that in, I couldn't sleep for 2 years, which I wrote the book just to get it out of me, because for 2 years I couldn't sleep. I would fall asleep and I would just get bombarded, right, by image after image after image. And so what do? Right? How do you live in a world and be open when you're open, you're just flooded with infinite pain? Okay? Right? And so what we do is we get very, very egocentric. What we do is we narrow our circles of caring. And we get more and more dead. Right? Because we narrow our circles of caring, because how can you have caring and compassion for something that you can't change, and the hurt is so real, right, and it's so deep, right? We basically stop doing anything about it. I mean, I grew up in a world where people would say, okay, the whole world stood by, right, while the Holocaust happened, which is true. And then I grew up, and then, as I grew up, I said, I was speaking in Tel Aviv in Israel and giving a kind of Dharma talk, and a woman kind of looked remarkably like my mother, which might have had something to do with my response, right? Kind of stood up and kind of said this kind of very dramatically. And so I said to her, kind of without thinking, I said, oh, and you were the head of the movement to heal Rwanda, right? The room gets kind of very quiet. I said, I'm sorry, ma'am. I was not in a nice mood. I said, I'm sorry, it wasn't Rwanda. You were the Cambodia person, right? You were doing the Cambodia thing, right? And the room kind of, right? And I said, I said, I'm so sorry. I keep confusing people, right? You were trying to save all those people in Tiananmen Square, right? You get it, right? In other words, and the truth is that in our lives, right, we all know that there's real, profound, dramatic suffering in the world, and what are we doing, right? And so the answer is, here's what I think, is one of two possibilities. Either we're all just kind of dramatically egocentric and evil. Possibility one, I don't dismiss it, right? Possibility two is that actually every single person in this room, if they felt they could make a difference, would stop everything they're doing and go out to do something. But actually we feel kind of impotent. We're just not sure what to do. Right? How do I step into the story?